So without any further ado, let's start with the agenda. And the first one we have is sleep hacks for you genes. And to cover this topic, I would like to call upon Dr. Biren Banerjee on stage. Can we have a round of applause for Dr. Biren? Come on, everybody.
First of all, good morning. I hope you had some nice sleep last night. After the COVID pandemic, we were discussing what is the next pandemic. And all of us were telling, okay, this virus is going to get mutated. There will be new virus in the horizon. There will be engineered viruses and all those. But very few of us have realized one thing, that we are already in a pandemic called sleep deprivation. If you ask, I'll talk to you about that Generation Z, the younger ones who are born after 2000, they hardly sleep. And they think sleeping is a waste of time, which is very, very practically true if you go to any university or college campuses, not only in India but around the world. You will see the lights are on in every hostel. That means the students, the younger ones, are not sleeping. So let's see. Sleeping is as important as waking up. So we exist on earth, our work, our professionalism, our legacy, our credentials, they all are on the waking hours. What you do during the waking hours. You go to office, you teach somewhere, you do business, you are sports, you're athletic guy. So all these are your waking hours. But you are only doing that because you are recharged during your non-waking hours. If you are not recharged, then you will not be able to at all achieve anything. That's what let's see. So what is the definition of sleep? Sleep is naturally a occurring altered state of consciousness. Now, consciousness is a very, very, I would say, pertinent topic to discuss in details. What is consciousness? In the world, it's an agreed philosophy that there is no definition of consciousness. Consciousness just is. We are all conscious. That's it. Now, who is conscious? Who is looking at it? If you go, that is spiritual. But consciousness is all the time there. But sleep is an altered state of consciousness. Like, suppose you are sleeping and you are dreaming. You are dreaming that you are winning a prize. You are very happy. You are smiling in your sleep. Or there's a tiger coming or a snake coming and you are running. You are sweating in your sleep. You are crying in your sleep. So that has a reality, right? It is causing some kind of physiological change in your body to make you afraid, to make you sweat, to make you cry, or to make you laugh. So sleeping is not a dormant state all the time as people think. It is physiologically active state also, but an altered active state. So sleeping is an altered state of consciousness. And here, your external stimuli, the response rate decreases. Now, let us see. We have a new world order. What is this new world order today? We have millennials, Generation Z plus, Generation Alpha, Generation Beta. Let's see who they are. Millennials or Generation Z plus are 2000 AD born. People who are born post 2000, they must be about 24 years old today. They are tech savvy. They can play with a lot of gadgets. They are night owls, okay? They don't sleep. They sleep at 3, 4 a.m. If you go to any tech university, a tech institute, as I told, you will find people awake at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning. Now, there are generations which are born in between 2020 and 2025, that is now. They are born deep tech savvy. Deep tech means, now all of us know what is a deep fake AI. So they are AI dependent. AI dependent means, if I ask my little daughter, can you just change the something in the TV with a remote? She'll say, why remote? I can change it with my watch. Okay? You don't know anything. I can do that. So that is that her TV is tuned with her AI-enabled watch, which she has downloaded some apps and she can control it from there. I don't know anything about it. So I am that remote kind of a generation doing increasing the volume and decreasing. They are AI-enabled. So people who are born in this period, they are AI dependent, and they have to, because we all are AI dependent today. We cannot ignore AI, actually. So now, this is where I would like to introduce a new concept here. where people will be born from 25 to 30. They have altered personality, unnatural, partly tech-enabled, hyper-mutated. Now, we call them Homo sap AI tech or Homo sapien tech. This Homo sapien tech generations will be having chips in their brain. I have told yesterday, Neuralink has already succeeded in putting a chip in a brain person partly paralyzed. That is to cure diseases, but people will have inability to get wearables or implantables in their body. So they will not be natural human beings only, they will be also hybrid tech human beings. So this is how they will look. This is how will they work. Now, that is also, Sardaluji is laughing, but this is a reality, and you can't blame. See, I'm talking to you about sleep hacking. My phone is listening. After half an hour I come out, I will have 30 ads on mattresses and sleep pills and this and that. Who is doing it? AI. My phone is being hacked by all these AI softwares to promote, right? Now, this guy. Now, here we are also in the midst of global warming. We are going to have about 48, 49, 50-degree temperatures on Earth commonly. What will you do then? You'll have to wear a jacket, summer jacket, which you call it, which is cooling you. Like you wear a winter jacket, you have to wear a summer cool jacket, which will be cooling your body, keeping it 37 degrees with, again, AI. So physiology of sleep. Now, our sleep is controlled by a system in our body called reticular activating system, which is there in your brain, controlled by your hypothalamus. It is a system which we have evolved by 50 million years. Human beings have evolved on Earth in 50 million years. It is not 1, 2, 300 years or Mahabharata Puranic time, but before that also we had human beings on Earth for almost 50 million years. And during this time, we had a programming in our genome which is waking up with the sun and going down with the sun. Now, if you go to animals world, forests, you will see at about 7:38 p.m. at night, the entire forest is completely still, dark and still. Okay, hardly some owls or others are just howling maybe. But you go in the early morning, 5:30, you will see bustling with a lot of energy, birds are chirping, people are rushing, these animals are rushing, they're just happy with that sun is there and they have been activated. So this is where our natural cycle is. We are ultimately an animal. And we have created this entire 24/7 cycle thanks to Thomas Alva Edison and this electricity. Okay, 24/7, night and day are same for us. We think night is not a time to sleep and relax. Night is a time to have entertainment, to talk to your friends. Whole day you don't get time to connect with your buddies. So you have 3 a.m. buddies, clubs. But the programming which is there in our genome, I told yesterday 3.4 billion bases we have in our genome. Now the genome will not change so fast. In 250, 300 years, it will not change the 50 million year old program. So the genome will have altered expression or reaction. So circadian rhythm, which Sanjay was talking about, is circa means about and dies means day. It's a diurnal rhythm. Okay? And this circadian rhythm has evolved because of the sun. The sun is the primordial source of energy in our system, in our galaxy. So sun provides the energy to every living species. So sun, you face the sun every 24 hours. So 12 hours each is divided, and the earth takes that much time to spin on its axis to face the sun. So your entire system is programmed with the sun. Now, if you see physiological function, if you map the sleep, you need to see electrophysiological approach of brain waves. How many of you know that when you deeply sleep, your eye movement is very rapid? It's a rolling kind of a movement. So there, when you are deeply asleep, you hit it, you are actually having that rapid eye movement sleep. Now that is, you have muscle which has, again, activity of the muscles decrease slowly. Okay, sometimes your muscle activity increases during your sleep. You move your legs and limbs a little faster. We'll say how. So as I told you, reticular activating system is very dynamic, and it is interacting constantly with your neurotransmitters, and there are hormones like dopamine, serotonin, melatonin. These hormones also control the way your sleep will be there, the quality of your sleep. Whether you are sleeping or not sleeping, that is one aspect, but if you go on analyzing, the quality of sleep is very important. So now here comes the stages. So you have the non-rapid eye movement sleep, you just go to sleep. So if I ask you, at what time do you sleep? None of you will be able to answer because nobody knows. Nobody knows when they actually sleep. They only say, I go to bed at 10 p.m. or I go to bed at 2 a.m. That's it. But when you actually fall asleep, can you track the exact time? You cannot. It's not possible. So when you sleep, you don't know, but you know when you go to sleep. So you have different stages. So you have a deep sleep stage, which is REM sleep, which is, and there are people that you will hit the REM sleep, again go back to normal sleep rhythm, again. So you have this to and fro movement, but at least 90 to 100 minutes or about an hour or so, hour and a half, you have to hit the REM sleep. Now here I would like to pause a little bit and impress upon you one important thing. Since this 2000, okay, Y2K problem was solved and all this, Microsoft, internet world, everything became popular. All the third world countries were engaged in cashing on dollars by doing call centers. And there were huge companies which have started in India, also in Gurgaon. And these people were working at night, where for the American companies who were active during the day. Now, all these children, young people who were working at that time, about 20 years back, they all suffer today. Why, you know? Their logic is you work from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning, come home, take a shower, have good food, and sleep. And wake up at about 2:33 in the afternoon, have a brunch kind of a stuff, and socialize with your friends, go here and there, and again go to job at 9 p.m. That's what they have been doing for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, getting good salary. But it has been proved, okay, experimentally, how much ever dark room you have during the day when the sun is up, how much ever peaceful place you have, you will not hit the REM sleep. You will not hit the REM sleep in the day, okay, in the day. You will hit the REM sleep, the deepest REM sleep, only during night or midnight or early morning. So that's where, and it is genetically programmed. You cannot do anything about it. You can fall asleep. You can take a pill, fall asleep, but it will not be REM sleep. You will be unconscious, okay? But you will not hit the voluntary body recharge REM sleep. This is the sleep which recharges your entire system, including every mitochondrion of your trillions of cells. You have trillions of cells in your body, and each of these cells needs that vital reset, okay? And that is where you get in this 90 minutes. So see the efficiency of your system. The system is so efficient that it has a program inbuilt to recharge, reset, repair during that process. So you have these fast theta waves during these are all EEG patterns. When you do neurophysiological experiment with the gadgets, you find that muscles relax, you have the theta waves, you have respirations become even, pulse rate decreases, and this stage usually lasts only a few minutes, and then you get into the awakened, the person maybe, you can actually, when he or she is just sleeping, he's just gone to sleep, you can awake that person and, yeah, batao. But stage 2, you burst off sleep spindles, you have rolling eye movement, slowly you are going towards the REM condition, and body functions become very slow. Then stage 3, you have delta sleep, the muscles are completely relaxed, the tone is maintained but completely relaxed. You cannot just lift anything. If you lift anybody's hand like this, it will fall like that. Okay, respirations are even, vital signs, urine formation and oxygen consumption of my muscles decreases. There are some very good yogic practitioners who can go into yoga nidra, deep sleep. You will see them not breathing at all. Okay, in these stages, snoring, sleepwalking, bedwetting, and great dreams, aspirational dreams. What you want to become in life, actually what you want to do. Or if somebody has scolded you, traumatized you, or you have traumatized from your past lives, all those you can get. So rapid eye movement sleep, you have, it actually resembles wakefulness, but it is a complete wakefulness, but you are in deep sleep. See the irony. You are at very high level of wakefulness, but you are basically deeply asleep. This is what is the goal of meditation. When you meditate and you go into deeper aspects of your meditation, you get into this very high level of awareness, but actually unaware of the world. So this is how your brain waves are documented during sleep research or sleep monitoring. I'm not going into details, but every stage of your life, you have sleeping hours. Like a newborn, just born, may sleep up to 18, 20 hours. You have seen that. As the baby grows up, the sleeping hours decreases, wakefulness increases, and as I told that once the baby hits the ego and understands its own need, specific needs, then sleep hours comes down. But it is maintained within about 9, 10 hours. Adults, 7 hours plus, minus 1, 2. Pregnant women, again, sleeps more at about 8 hours. So throughout our life, we need approximately 7 hours of sleep. That is important. Now, that 7 hours of sleep, I told you that these software engineers who are working in call center, I will catch up some sleep. Where will you catch it? Is it available on the tree? You will catch it, put it in your pocket? You have to hit it, and that you can hit only at night because of the programming in your genome. You cannot do it I will have soothing music, I will have very nice air-conditioned room and dark, and I will sleep. That's all, you sleep, but you don't actually sleep or hit your restful sleep. You have cortisols. Cortisols are, again, corticosteroid hormone controlled by your brain, and this cortisol rhythm, these cortisols run through your body. You have the highest level of cortisol in the wakeful during 6 a.m. when you wake up. Whenever you wake up, you may wake up at 5:30, you may wake up at 4:30, you have that pattern. So 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., you have the highest cortisol level. This is where your body, your mind, everything is so recharged. Just right from when you have this battery of a car dies and you get a recharge done of the battery, wherever you are, and then put it back to the car and then switch it on. Within half a self, the car starts. And then when we switch on the light is so bright because it's a recharged battery. You behave like that early in the morning because you are a recharged human being. And when you work throughout the day, the cortisol a little bit fall, but okay, 12 a.m., 12 p.m. So you have 6 a.m. cortisol, 12 noon cortisol. If you map the cortisols, it starts falling down post-sunset. Who has programmed it? How is the genome programmed for expressing cortisols at this juncture? Our entire evolution, our entire circadian evolution. Now, what are the functions? It basically increases gluconeogenesis in the liver, inhibitory effect on insulin which stops transport of glucose into the cells. Now here, just see, inhibitory effect on insulin which stops transport of glucose into the cells. You know that cortisol. So now you have no cortisols or less cortisols at night, right? And you eat. So as yesterday somebody was talking about, the whole day you are busy working, doing this, doing that, doing this deadline, that deadline. So you have a sumptuous meal with your friends and families at about 10:30 at night. What will your liver do? What will your body do when your cortisol is not there? So it suppresses insulin secretion, anti-inflammatory functions. So your entire digestion, your entire activity of the body is programmed around the cortisols. And if you have completely thrown this cortisol rhythm out of the window by reversing your sleep cycle, that I will wake up in the night, I'll keep working at night and not work during the day, or I will sleep at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., then you will have to have immunosuppression, diabetes, ulcer, irritable bowel syndrome, migraine, headache, and those are all symptoms will come there. So I'm not going into the science of it here, but just showing you that these hormones are very well coordinated like an orchestra. It is like an orchestra where each one has a supporting rhythm with it, and they will support each other. Again, controlled by the hypothalamus axis, and this is adrenaline, corticosteroid hormones. Your activity, morning you have such energy, you want to work, you can do a lot of activity in the work. That's why people say if you wake up early, 1 hour early, you actually do 5 hours of work in the morning. So that makes the whole body so conducive for doing all the activity that the 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. the best time. Or in India, in our spiritual context, we say Brahma Muhurtam, which is about 4:15 a.m., where you can see absolute light. Only light will be there to see your skin and hair. Okay, coming back to DNA. So DNA damage and repair. So trillions of cells are there, and don't think that cells are immortal. The cells are there to die. Every cell has its own lifespan, and they die. How do they die? Their DNA is damaged. Now, some of the damaged DNA is repaired. All the time, the cells don't die. So there is a balanced, continuous work of DNA damage and repair. If you are exposed to X-rays, mutagens, DNA damaging agents all the time, like pollution in Delhi, so DNA is damaged and it is repaired when the maximum repair happens during a sleep. So if you have, so cells undergo damage, repair, there are good repairs, normal healthy cells. There is no repair, also fine. You have apoptosis, that is programmed cell death or necrosis in our body. But there are faulty repair or hurry repair or some repair which is mismatches, then you will have mutation and cancer. So DNA damage response, who controls it? Now, just to tell you, I'm a telomere biologist. I work in telomere since last 22 years. Okay, in my lab, this is one of my favorite area of research is telomeres. So people say there has to be a boss. So in our body, brain is our boss, hypothalamus is the boss. Telomere is the boss of the DNA in the genome. And they don't make any proteins. They are just sequences, repeat sequences present at the end of the chromosomes, but they're so important that they become shorter every time a cell replicate or divide. And they are critically short at some point of time, then the cell come out of the cell cycle because that is indication of the cell to stop dividing. And then the cell is either senescent or wait for death or die. Now, there are pathways which we were talking about. NAD, you have booths called NM, N, and NADs. So these NADs or sirtuins, they are your energy sensing sensors in your body. Whether your body needs energy, whether your body is sufficient with energy or depletion of energy or good energy, all this will be monitored. If your telomeres are normal, if they are not normal, if they are abnormal, then that entire pathway is completely haywire. Now, this telomere became very important because, see, these three people, out of these three people, Carol is the postdoc. She was the postdoc student working in Liz Blackburn's lab in California. And Carol is actually a micro-yeast biologist. So she was thinking, why these yeast cells are not dying? Why? So then she was finding, she isolated a protein called telomerase. She's like, this protein is elongating the ends of the DNA. That's why the cells are not dying. So she named the protein as a ribonucleoprotein, which enhances telomeres, called telomerase. Telomere and ase, an enzyme which can elongate telomere. Now the story. Yesterday, two incidents were shown that telomeres are like shoelaces. One was told by Alok Chopra and another one, a scientist from New York. Now the shoelace has nothing to do with telomeres. It actually don't describe the telomere. That's a misnomer. But shoelace gave the brilliant idea, the Nobel Prize winning idea. Carol's daughter used to go to school every day. She used to get late, bus used to come and honk, and she used to just hurry. She never used to tie her laces properly, so Carol used to tie the laces. And the lace had these tips, plastic tips, and these tips of the lace of one or two laces were not there, and she was finding it very difficult to tie, and she used to scold the daughter, why you are always playing with the lace and you are losing the tip. Okay, and that used to take time for the daughter to go to the bus. So this is the problem. So the telomeres become dysfunctional, the ends of the chromosomes are dysfunctional, so therefore there is a genome instability. It is not that the lace or the tip is like exactly what the telomere function. No, they don't function like that. Now, Carol was a postdoc student. It is her discovery. And Jack Szostak in Harvard actually found that most of the cancer cells hack this telomerase pathway because our cells are mortal. We are a mortal human being. We die. We have to die after 70, 80, 90 years. Now, cells have also a lifespan. But cancer cells are immortal. They don't die. How do they do that? They hack this telomerase pathway, which is otherwise
silent in our most of the cells. They hack it and they are immortal. So that discovery made these two women very popular, that most of the cancer cells are telomerase positive, and that is the immortality theory. So Carol used to collaborate with us when I was in Singapore, when she was not a Nobel laureate. We were working in telomeres, sharing notes with our DNA damage response with telomeres. But obviously, she became a Nobel laureate in 2009, one of the fastest Nobel Prize in biology history. So telomere functions. So telomere is not only capping or that shoelace, it has lot of functions. Your each gene transcription, the DNA forming RNA, the telomere controls, the DNA damage sensing it controls, the aging it controls. So you see the entire function right from stem cell depletion, your stem cells. When we are one cell in our mother's womb and start developing to 2, 4, 16, 64, and then 1 trillion cell, and we have embryonic stem cells. Those stem cells become smaller in number, and somatic cells or terminally differentiated adult cells takes over, and that's why we start decaying and we die one day. Imagine if you have stem cells all throughout her body, we'll never die, or we do the kaya kalpa, maybe we regenerate our stem cells again. Okay, so cell death, whether the cell has to die, death is very important. The cell has to die, otherwise they'll become cancer. Telomere decide that. So obesity, metabolic syndrome, familial cancers, all of these are controlled by 6 proteins which are capping telomeres called sheltering proteins, and they help in the functionality of the telomeres. Now we have to maintain a sleep hygiene, we have to map. Now everyone has different sleeping patterns, agreed. Every human beings are not machines that you have to go to bed at 9 p.m. and then sleep by 9:30, wake up at 4. Everybody cannot do that. So there has to be a sleep hygiene. People may tend to sleep at 11, may wake up at 7, fine. But actually have that midnight hour, that 11:30 to 3:30, that hour included in your sleep. Don't cross that. If you cross, that is the best resting hour of your body, as Dr. Alok was talking about. If you do that, it is like you have a horse, you have taken the horse for 40-kilometer ride, and then gave the rest to that horse drinking some water, and then horse is also thinking that boss has come to the destination, I will have good night's sleep. Boss again decides, come on, and then whip the horse and go another 30 kilometers. This is what we do every day to our body. So we have to have exposure to natural light, which Sanjay was talking. Establish a regular bedtime. Do not be irregular in bedtime. We actually, whenever, chalo, jo milta hai, weekend sleeping time is different, week sleeping time is different, holiday sleeping time is not there, sleeping time is not there in holidays. So this is the problem. Body will say, body will not know whether you are a CEO or a student. The cell will know you are a human cell. The cell will not decide कि ये CEO साहब आज नहीं सोएंगे, इनके friends आए घर में. उनका जो genome है, the proteins will give that signal, and the cell is telling, oh, the CEO is not sleeping, so let us wait for some time. And that waiting period continues. So then, before bedtime, there should not be any arguments or emotionally, अरे तुमने वो क्यों नहीं किया? And these CEOs, they never shut up. They all the time, they keep on working, deadline, ye PPT, wo balance sheets, wo work, every day. There has to be some time. Otherwise, you will have no time with yourself, and one day that self will say, thank you, tada, bye-bye. That's what a lot of CEOs are having sudden cardiac death, SCDs. You have to have motivation. See, these cortisols are motivation hormones. Working in the morning, you have motivation. Chalo, office chalte hain, kaam karte hain, ye karte ho. Do you have that kind of a motivation in the evening? Or in the late night? No, you don't have. You are feeling lethargic, tired. That's why, because your hormonal architecture is telling you that. You have to have proper diet. You cannot have inflammatory diets or inflammatory diets in the night or in the evening and then try to sleep. Okay, alcohol intake has become a part of our lifestyle. Now, alcohol and smoking together, and then other substances, I'm not going to that. Environmental factors, obviously light, the type of sound. We are now living in a noisy world. The world never shuts. One company sleeps, another company wakes up all the time. Lifestyle, traveling, globetrotting, illness. We have different types of lifestyle disorders and illness, and chronic illnesses also have effect on the sleep. Most importantly, medication. There are many medications which interfere into our hormonal imbalance and sleep. So what actually it does, this entire lifestyle, there are direct routes, like you are tired or you have a hard day at work. you make this entire stress makes you predisposed to psychological factors, which all these, then this is all taking a complex turn inside your body, which we call a new term called psychoneuroimmunology, or PNI. It is psychological, like you are tensed, you are stressed, you are not feeling at the good, best of your mood, and then it has a neuronal effect, and it has of course an immunological effect. And then it makes entire body poor coping route. You are not able to cope with anything in life that time. So it starts with a mild headache or migraine, then you have deadlines, you have office work, which never gets, it is like those Facebook scrolls, it never gets off, all the time it is there. So you have too much of input in life and very little output. So it increases the stress at the level of it harms your immune system, endocrine system, and nervous system, and that causes psychoneuroimmunological disorders or imbalances, and it actually takes direct route into your cell division and affects the telomeres. So what does it do? Again, pictures. This man, when he started playing for India, he was 24 years old. Within 11 years, what happened to him? Too much of work pressure, traveling from one continent to another, no sleep, only sleeping in the plane, no recovery. For a sports person, very good example that how sleep deprivation, too much of work pressure can prematurely age yourself. You see this doctor, Dr. Devi Shetty, a good friend of Dr. Alok. So I have met him several times, and I always see this guy is most of the time happy. It is not that he doesn't work, but he has amazing work balance life. So it actually, the stress which we are holding every day is decreasing our natural abilities. We have published papers, I'm not going to details because of the time, but we have seen that chronic stress has effect on your immune cells and your entire physiological architecture, and it creates chronic inflammatory environment, microenvironment in your body. We have published that, and this is my favorite slide where all of you can find yourself or your near and dear ones. If you have diabetes, you have hypertension for sure. If you have obesity, you have cardiovascular or hypertension definitely. And this is the cycle. This continuously happen. We accumulate reactive oxygen species, junk eating, smoking, and environmental factors. They collaborate together and to destroy. How do you sleep better? So sleep actually can create good recovery, good repair for your body. Due to lack of time, my slides will be here. I am not discussing insomnia. It is well read. But sleep apnea is one of the most common insomnic syndrome, which is, again, many types of apnea is there. We have to have adjustments. We have to have jet lag disorders treatment. We have to have work shift order system. So each sleep disorder is different. It cannot be same and treated in a same manner. It will be different and specific. And this 24-hour wake sleep disorder has to be restored back to 12 hours. Otherwise, we are in deep trouble. So sleep terrors and long sleep syndromes are associated with the traumas. Those can be treated in a different way. But medicines like these GABA receptor modulators or sleep medicines basically affect your REM sleep. You are basically treating your sleep symptomatically, and whatever REM sleep is left in your body, you are also destroying that. So this is a problem. So solution, I have found a solution. Dr. Nagendra is well known in the yoga world. He is my guru, spiritual guru. So I say that my guru and Prime Minister's guru are same. So Dr. Nagendra and I collaborated on breast cancer project, and then we found that DNA repair capacity and sleep patterns increases in people who do yoga, and not only yoga, but spiritual life. So this is where we have shown that if you bend the body, it actually mends the mind. You have to bend the body to mend the mind, and bend the DNA to mend the genes and evolve. So my last slide is, if there are a lot of stress in our life, we cannot avoid that, and it creates macromolecular disturbances, and that will affect micromolecular disturbance in your genome, and you have disease, different types. If you take care of that, that is top-down model, Rana disease model, then you can create macromolecular harmony, which will have micromolecular effect, and the disease or the disorder will be vanished to ease. Thank you very much. the slok from Bhagavad Gita. Let a man lift himself by his own self, let him not degrade himself, because the self alone can live in harmony with the self, and self is the enemy of the self. Atmanya Atmanman Bandhu, Atmanya Atmana Ripu. This is what Krishna is telling. I am not telling. It is not my statement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Banerjee.